Now we are, of course, getting ready for the UK U of L basketball game on Saturday. Going behind enemy lines is what we're calling it, but inviting some of our friends here. Mark Ennis from SB Nation now joins us. Mark, first of all, welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me on. I guess it's like the third UK U of L game of some kind you've had me on. I appreciate that.
Gorgui Dieng is playing, which is the big news, of course. Right. Kentucky fans probably not surprised this is happening. U of L fans maybe not surprised, but he's going to start. What do you expect from Gorgui? Do you think he's healthy enough to make an impact, and what kind of impact does he make for that team?
I think he'll make a big impact. I'm surprised he's going to start. A couple people said sort of surprised that they're not going to bring him off the bench and let him work into the game instead of picking up a cheapie or something like that. First time he's played in, I think, 5 weeks. But he's a big part of Louisville defensively, a lot like Anthony Davis was last year, where they could sort of rely on him to be kind of an umbrella there in the middle, and it's a big help for Louisville.
One question that I've been, we follow U of L somewhat, paying attention to them. A question that everybody wants to know, from a U of L fan perspective, why is Russ Smith so awesome? What is it about Russ Smith that everybody loves him so much on the Louisville side?
Well, I think it's because he's small.
Yeah.
And I just think he seems out of control. And really, he's like a controller with one button. Like, as soon as he gets the ball, he's going to shoot.
That turbo button mashed down.
And I think people enjoy the fact that they can tell he drives Rick crazy, but is so integral to Louisville's success. And I think people watching that drama back and forth is just a lot of fun for people.
He was a guy that stood out last year, 30 points last year against Kentucky. Had it not been for him, could have been much worse than it was, a big blowout. Is he the most important piece, or is it Peyton? I look at Peyton Siva. Both these guys have been inconsistent in their careers to a large degree, but have been consistent this season. Is Russ Smith the X factor for Louisville, or are they in the driver's seat? Is it?
He might be. Last year's game, he was the only guy to me in that regular season game that didn't look like he was playing scared. Everybody else for Louisville, I thought they looked intimidated by that whole game. But I think he can't do too much. Because other guys have a tendency to stand around when he does that. Yeah. So they're going to need something from Shane Bohannon or Wayne Blackshear, these guys. They're going to have a good production from somebody else, but he's going to have to contribute as well. And when he does, U of L does pretty well.
How important is it to Rick Pitino, do you think? He's a Hall of Fame coach, no question. John Calipari's won the last 4 games since he's been at Kentucky. He's 4-0. This is the first year. 2 years ago, maybe Louisville was a better team going into that game. We didn't know Josh Harrelson broke out. How important is it for Rick Pitino to get this win, you think, for the ongoing success, maybe this season or maybe in the future, to say, we got one against Kentucky, and because maybe next year the team's going to be so good it's going to be in Kentucky's advantage again?
Yeah, I don't know how much it matters to him personally, but I think to everybody, the U of L fans, sort of the community, I think for that narrative right there, we're just the Calipari kind of owns him.
Right.
This is as good a chance as they're going to get, probably in the next year or two or 3. He's got to have this one. I think he does.
One of the things we talked about today, I was doing the radio here in Louisville on 680. When was the last time Rick Pitino's been in a game where there's been this much pressure? Because even during their Final Four run last season, they were an underdog and kind of a Cinderella story made there. The Kentucky game, that was a no-pressure game. You made it to the Final Four. If you win, that's a bonus, but no real pressure there. And going back, it's been a while since they've had that kind of pressure. The guys on this team, as a veteran group, have seen these type of games that they're going to have at the Yum Center. Lots of fans, people cheering, maybe a little drunk, you never know, drink a little bit. People excited for the game. Kentucky has not seen that. How much of that experience really, how much of a value is that experience for Louisville?
Yeah, I think for this year, it seems to have be a very big deal and a big help for Louisville. And I keep going back to that run through the Big East tournament for whatever reason. I feel like that sort of reborn everybody.
Right.
And Peyton Siva hasn't been the same player since then, and a number of different guys have stepped up like that. And he has been much more of an even-keeled player this year. You haven't really had a game where he just looks completely out of control, and you had a lot of that last year.
Yeah.
And I think that run last year propelled them into the tournament, to the Final Four, and it's carried over, and I think it's a big help for them this year.
Is there a guy, as a Louisville fan, a guy on Kentucky's roster that scares you coming into this game, his potential to break out?
Well, I think Poythress and Goodwin are both extremely good. The guy I would be afraid of, and I don't know if it's reasonable, but Kyle Wiltshire just getting hot and just knocking down a bunch of threes, because I think if Kentucky gets hot from 3, they're going to win, and I think that he's capable of that. And I have flashbacks to 2 years ago when nobody thought Josh Harrelson was worth anything, and he just killed Louisville in that game. So I think Wiltshire knocking down a bunch of threes in particular would be what I would be most afraid of.
Mark, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure talking with you. Appreciate you coming in.